What's up, guys? Devin Zander here with my co-host Clayton Johnson, and we are the
Rowdy Boys.
God, it's so good every time.
Yes.
Dude, how could I live another day without hearing you say this on Wednesdays?
Thank you, man.
Which are the days we record, just so you guys know. Today we've got a really good talk, and
It's going to be great.
I guess I'll go through it this time. Usually you cover what we're talking about, but what we're going to be talking is essentially our opinion on what creates an irresistible seven-figure offer. Now, a lot of people, when they think about offers, they just think like, you ask them, they're like, oh, here's the product I sell. That's my offer.
Yeah, people don't even know what an offer is, man. But if you can understand this is what's going to literally change the game. And people are giving out weak offers. And so we are going to fix that. So the next offer that you put out is going to change possibly your entire business. And you're going to learn how to do it in this podcast.
Yeah, we're going to show you how to make some money. Essentially, we both have one offer that we're going to break down each, and these are multi-seven-figure offers that have, well, actually, they're multi-eight-figure offers that have generated over $10 million in revenue, over $20 million in revenue, I'm sure. Yeah. I know ours is, and I'm like fairly certain yours generates like that much per year. Yeah. So we're going to break down exactly what goes into these offers, why they make so much money, and why are they so damn irresistible. So, Clayton, if you want to take it away, bro, let's get rowdy. And you can break down your seven-figure, eight-figure offer and what goes into it, what makes it so irresistible.
All right, so you want me to go first and talk about it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. Well, the first thing, I'm going to come at this from a services business perspective, and you're going to do like an info product. Yeah. So really depends on when you're thinking about your business, what kind of offer you're thinking about. So if you're not in services, you're just going to have to take this with a grain of salt, but a lot of this still is going to apply, okay? So when I think about an offer, there's a lot of things that I think about. And, you can think about what the actual product is that you sell. You could think about what is the mechanism in which you sell it. You could be thinking about the pain point. You could be thinking about the actual when you go to give it to the customer and you say like, yo, this is the price, this is the discount. I mean, there's so many things that go into an offer, but I really wanted to touch on, how this offer that we have like really came to be. The offer that we're going to talk about is basically we have this managed SEO service, and yeah, it does over $1 million a month, but we didn't always have this as an offer. So kind of the history of it was that we used to sell individual services, right? We'd sell like links and we'd sell content individually. And, I was talking to some clients and had basically the same conversation multiple times where I came to people and they were saying like, I was trying to tell them about our products, and they were like, yeah, well, I'm down to buy that and I have I have budget for it. And then I was like, okay, all you got to do is you got to like use like this strategy, and you can use some tools to figure it out, and then you can go and you can buy links. And we've sold lots of links and stuff like that before. I mean, this is a popular product, so I knew that people could do it. But this group of people were like, ooh, I would love to do that, but I really don't know what I'm doing. Could you just do it for me? Yeah. And I was like, no, we can't. We don't have that, And then I had that same conversation multiple times, and it was painfully obvious to me, like that I was just like, yo, we just need to have a service where we do that strategy for them. We actually, they just give us a budget and we just do it. And like, coming from the outside, like it seems so easy, but if you're just in the weeds every day of your business, you didn't just talk to your customers, or you're used to selling your products a certain way, you need to listen to your customers and figure out what is the missing piece that can unlock their ability to buy. Because these people, they were willing to buy, but they couldn't buy without us, helping them out with that missing strategy piece, And so we launched that as a service. All we did is we sold the exact same products that we already had, but just put a person in between the customer and the products. The person would go and they would figure out the strategy, and that's it. And it was on recurring billing every month. So as soon as we did that, that product popped off because our entire, there's a huge swath of our audience that would be willing to buy, but they weren't. And now they could because we just put that out as an offer. So now I'm coming at this offer from like a product development standpoint, but I think it can't be understated like how much you just need to go listen to your customers and figure out what is the thing that's preventing them from buying, because that might create the next product. That might create a tweak to a product that you have. Like what I'm saying is like the product that we had was like literally the same products, just with a tweak. It was just a management layer on top of what we already sold, you know? And so you got to talk to your customers and you got to figure out what's that missing piece that's preventing them from buying. And then that can become literally almost the entire offer right there. That is the thing that gets them to actually buy. So now there's that part of it. So I don't think that could be understated, like figuring out what people actually want to buy.
Yeah, and what is keeping them from buying.
Exactly. I mean, and actually a lot of time, that's a great point, man. You know, we try to interview a lot of customers, and sometimes when we interview customers, we'll say like, yo, what do you want? What can we create for you? And they like, sometimes they know, but a lot of times they really don't know. And sometimes it's hard to actually get that out of them.
That Ford quote or whatever. If I would have asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I mean, you might have some smart customers that could tell you what you should create next, and that's cool. But I'll tell you, like, we've sometimes struggled to actually get that out of our clients. But what is not hard to get out of people is you go like, what do you hate? You know, ask them like, what is painful about this process? And they will tell you. And then you can connect the dots on what the solution is from there. So that's really helpful. Like I didn't ask in that example, I didn't ask those clients, I didn't ask them what they wanted me to create. I was just like, I just listened to them and said, they were like, dude, I don't want to do the strategy. Like essentially saying, yeah, this is what I don't want, you know? And I'm like, oh, well, what if we did it? And they were like, yeah, that'd be good. So it's really obvious, but it was a huge breakthrough in our business. So anyway, there's the product development part of it. But then thinking about the offer, it goes into much more than that because, you know, when we actually present it to them on, you know, I try to promote it. Yeah. You know, I think about, you know, there's a certain section of the customer base that we went out and we were just like, hey, we have this thing and some people bought. But later on, you got to like start promoting it, and you got to be able to take somebody that's like not interested and actually get them interested, you know. And so that's when like the real, what I think what you know we're really going to talk about in terms of like what is the offer, like what does it actually entail. So for us, that offer wasn't just hey, we'll do it for you. You know, it was like okay, here's the buckets of prices that we're going to do it for you. Here's what you get inside the, you know, for that price. We're going to add a campaign manager on. We're going to do the strategy. Plus, we're going to get sick reporting for you every single month. Plus, you're going to do monthly calls with this person that's going to answer all your questions and show you the results that you're getting. And then on top of that, you know, if you buy right now, then we'll run these promotions, right, where we're like, yo, if you buy right now, you're going to get this extra stuff. So anyway, I'm talking a lot, but you know, this is when I think about an offer, I think about not just the product, which I think that's a huge part of it, but also, you know, what actually you know, when you go to promote it, once it starts ramping up, how are you going to get people to buy? So maybe it's a good time to transition into you, and we can kind of go back and forth. Yeah. And so how do you think about creating an offer?
So yeah, an offer to me, and like you kind of just said, that the product is like a huge part. And I think while the product is a huge part, it's almost not even really part of the offer, in my opinion. Okay. Because if you build a cool offer, people will buy it no matter what, right? They'll be like, this sounds amazing, I'm gonna buy it, right? And then if the product sucks, they're gonna refund. So it's important still. You definitely need to have a good product, or people will refund, they'll charge back, they'll be unhappy. But when I think of an offer, that's, you know, kind of like you said, it's getting them to buy. It's what goes into that buying process. And a lot of people get so caught up in the product that they don't think about the logical steps to get someone to buy. Like the product's cool and everything. That's what gets people results. You need to have a good one. But when it comes to the offer, there are 5 parts. And
you said something so good, so I want to really hit on it, which is like, if you're going to, like I talked about the creation of a product, but it's not a build it and they will come type of thing. A lot of people try to do that. They're like start with the product and they work on it, and then later on they'll figure out how they're going to sell it. Yeah. Horrible idea. Terrible. What I saw in that moment when I talked to those clients was that I could immediately go, hey, if we just had a service that would do this for you, and like we had some, you got an SEO expert to do it, would you buy that? And they were immediately like, yes. I'm like, I didn't build the product, I didn't know exactly how it was going to work or anything, but I did know just like on that moment, like, does this solve your problem? Would you pay for that? And they were like, yeah. And so when you're thinking about creating the product, it's not necessarily like how is the intricacies of it all going to work. I'm thinking about like, how, what could I tell someone that they would be like, hell yeah, I want to buy that. So maybe you could expound upon that.
Yeah, I think that's really important because when you're building an offer, right? Because the offer is technically what's going to sell the product, right? And then if you can figure out how to build an irresistible offer like we're discussing here, then that tells you exactly what the product needs to be. So the offer should always come first, and the offer dictates what the product ends up
100%, yeah.
So
I discovered the offer, and then we created the product from there.
Exactly.
So
yes, because then you have something that's going to sell.
Exactly.
And you make much money with. I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm going to be breaking down the 8-figure offer. It's called HCOM. It's a course on how to build an e-commerce business. We took it to a little bit over $1 million a month, and we continued on that course for about 3 years. Yeah. And there are 5 parts that went into making HCOM such a huge success. I think there's 5 parts. Let's make sure. Yeah, there's 5. And I'm going to read them out one by one here, and then we can go through them individually. Number 1 is the outcome. I'll expand upon that. We've got the unique take or the unique mechanism. We've got, is it emotionally compelling? We've got risk reversal, and then we've got DFY. So DFY, pretty obvious for those not informed. Done for you. So the 5 parts of an offer. That is the pentagon of success.
Dude, I like this because you have like a little different take on it. Mine was kind of more focused on product, and this is like, okay, when you're ready to like sell that thing. So let's like break it down.
So the outcome, and everyone's like so focused on their product, and like here's the thing: nobody really gives a fuck about your product. They care about what your product is going to do for them.
100%.
What kind of results are they going to get? So the first thing when you're coming up with an offer, you need to decide, okay, what will people have after they've done this? For HCOM, it was a 6-figure business. It's really that simple. All right, so what kind of outcome do we want? We want people to have a 6-figure store, and then also we kind of, with our outcome, we kind of try to decide what they don't need either. So, okay, outcome is 6-figure store without having to build a website or do techie things, right?
Yeah.
Really, it's that simple. Outcome is probably the easiest part. Just what happens after they complete your product or whatever the thing is.
Dude, this is so important. Like we gotta break this down more and like have people think about this, because this is a huge problem everywhere. And it's not just like, when you think about offers, it's like on your website, when you're trying to sell your product on your website, how do you write the headline for it? When you try to sell an email, how do you write the headline for that? Like people will write headlines like Facebook management service.
Yeah, especially in your industry.
Yeah, like in marketing or marketing services, people be like Facebook management,
Facebook ads course.
Facebook. It's like the
best Facebook ads course on the planet. Well, that's cool.
That's
but what's it gonna do for me?
That's what it is, but that's not going to entice someone. You want to figure out what the outcome. What do people truly want? And if you really understand what people truly want, then you can write a really compelling headline, the first line of your ad, whatever. It applies to everything. So think about, what do they actually care about? What are they gonna?
What do they want?
What is their pain? What are they gonna wake up in the middle of the night going, dude, this is pain. This is painful to me, or this is something I really, really desire, and use that as your headline or whatever. Like the headline on that course. It wasn't even for the course. It was for the opt-in for the webinar.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing that they saw. They didn't even know the course existed. So this is like kind of
$10,000 a month business, and we don't even reveal that it's Shopify at this point because we don't want people to say something like, "Oh, I've heard of that before" or whatever. Because you always, and that I'll get to that more. It's in my next point here, the unique take.
Yeah.
But you don't want people thinking that they've heard this before or something like that.
Yeah, but repeat, like, okay, so this was the offer. This is not even the real offer. This isn't the product offer. This is the offer to get on the webinar to sell it. And so that offer was how to build a $10,000
a month business without tech skills, this, or
yeah.
that. I don't even remember.
Okay,
but it's
so
super simple.
That's and you're like, hey, get on this webinar to to learn that, right?
Yeah.
So that's like
Next
your offer for the webinar, right?
Yeah. And then, well, that's why it's so important to figure out your offer before you do anything. Like people are getting it like so ass backwards, like we said. But if you write down these 5 things that I'm going to, go over.
Sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, it's fine. If you do that before you write any of your copy, before you come up with the offer or the product itself, it makes everything so much easier because you know exactly what you need to create. You know exactly what you need to write. And
I
you
make
get
this
all
mistake.
the work done ahead of time. So
everybody makes this mistake. I keep making this mistake, but you just got to hammer it home. You got to create this offer before you create the product.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to create this wacky product that no one really cares about. You spend a lot of time doing.
And then you're going to spend a lot of money on ads. And you're not going to get any results or anything like that.
Might as well create this first. All right.
We've got the outcome.
The outcome.
And the outcome essentially is where your people want to be after they've completed whatever it is your offer. So in your case, that is improved rankings without doing any work, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously leads to more money, more traffic, more visitors, more sales, more opt-ins, all these different kind of things. It's going to be different depending on which kind of website you're serving. And for us, it's like, hey, now you got a 6-figure business or a 5-figure a month business. It's the same one. Like we word it both ways, but it doesn't really, they're the same exact thing.
Yeah, we have another service that I started out and the headline was just like, it was PPC management services. And I was like, this sucks. This is not the outcome. When people land on this page, it's not the outcome they want. And I changed it to something like, get leads on demand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, that's what people really want. They don't know how to get leads, but when we run PPC campaigns for them, they're going to get leads on demand. And that will solve their problem. So, I thought about the outcome a lot more. So I mess this up all the time.
And the next thing here, though, step number 2 in the Pentagon of irresistible offer success is just a unique take or a unique mechanism. And you see this a lot, especially the weight loss industry gets this right, man. They really do.
Oh, they kill it on this.
Yes, because here's the thing, is there are only so many diets, there are only so many exercises you can do, so you need to make it unique. You need to make yourself stand out. And here's an example that I think everybody in the industry relies on, but it's P90X, right? And P90X, a lot of people don't know this, but it wasn't very successful for like a super long time. It was just like, hey, try our workout program, blah, blah, blah. It's really good. It's got a bunch of ripped people. It's showing the outcome and this and that. But people, they're like, oh, I've tried a workout program before. And then they're scared to try
It's just another workout program.
It's just another workout program. Oh, I've seen something like that. I've heard of something like that. And then randomly, one of their copywriters just decided, oh, it's because of muscle confusion. That's why P90X works. And literally, they were about to, pull this product off the shelves. They were going to stop infomercials. They tried for years. They just couldn't get it to sell. And then they came up with a unique word, a unique phrase that no one has ever heard of before.
Yeah.
Muscle confusion.
Sounds interesting, right?
And the people are like, oh, that's why it's not working for me, because I haven't been doing muscle confusion.
Yeah.
I've just been working out normally, doing the same workouts. I wasn't confusing my muscles, and that's why I'm not getting results, right? Yeah. Or for us, like we have...
That's idiotic, by the way. Dude, if you want to confuse your muscles,
just
lift harder.
Yeah, lift harder, guys. For our brand, we use what's known as like the MCBW framework, which is a really simple way of targeting on Facebook. But because we've coined our own phrase for it and our own unique way to do it, just literally coming up with a unique phrase, people are like, oh, that's why my Facebook ads didn't work. I didn't have the MCBW, the patented, trademarked, proven to work MCBW method, which literally just stands for magazines, celebrities, businesses, and websites. You just target them, right? But that makes it a totally unique offer, because instead of saying, oh, we're going to teach you how to run profitable Facebook ads or something like that, no, we're going to show you our secret MCBW framework that we've worked over years to come up with and use to generate 8 figures a year in sales on our store. It's literally as simple as giving your offer like a unique name. And then there's other people in the industry that do it. I can just throw out some examples like Scott Oldford, for instance. He's a guy that has coached us a few times. He's got the ROI method, which is like relevancy, omnipresence, and intimacy. What is it?
It's not return on investment?
No, it's not for him. That's a common pitfall.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? It's like he could have just said, okay, you run retargeting ads that are reach ads, and then over 14 days you send a certain kind of message. But that's not sexy. People are like, oh, I tried reach ads, that didn't work. So he's like, no, this is the ROI method that will help you get relevant, omnipresent, and intimate with your clients. So it's just a way of making it seem super unique and framing it in your position, your prospect's mind like it's something they've never heard of before.
Yeah.
And then they're like, fuck yeah, I want to try that shit. Let's go. This was my
Rowdy boys
the whole time. And it's just, it works so well because it helps them rationalize, because people are scared to try things, right?
Yeah.
Especially if they've tried it before. And now in a lot of our industries, you know, people have already bought backlinks. They've already bought courses.
Yeah. You got to
have
have
already
something
tried
new.
weight loss. They've already done this. They need a way to make themselves rationalize. Like, that's what's happening, is they're rationalizing why the other one didn't work. The other product didn't work. It's almost taking the blame off their shoulders and giving them permission to try what you do. Because then they're like, oh, dude, it's not my fault that I didn't lose weight or get ripped. I didn't do muscle confusion. That was the whole thing. It's not my fault. I'll just do this now. I'll do the muscle confusion and I'll get jacked. Yeah. Right? So it's just so effective because of that. And of course, I mean, if shit's new, think about it. We're buying the new fucking iPhone every year. People just want to try new shit. And then if you're taking the blame off them and stuff like that as well, it's just like the super trifecta. So that's like the next point right there.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you know, this unique mechanism can be so powerful in competitive markets or markets where there's like a lot of people. But it's definitely just important just to grab attention.
Yeah.
And it's not saying that you should just make up some wacky stuff. Like, if you have a really good product, you probably have a unique mechanism. You just need to be able to, you know, tell people about it.
Yeah. And that's a good point. I didn't even touch on those, about like how people are scared to enter crowded markets. Well, first of all, a crowded market means it's a healthy market. That's where you want to be. If it's an empty market, that means that there's nobody to buy in that market.
Market is so important. It's the number one thing that'll determine if it's going to work or not.
And then, okay, so you have to enter a crowded market if you want to make a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
And this is how you stand out. You just make your offer unique in some way.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think of other examples of unique mechanisms, because, dude, they're all over the place. And I don't know if people recognize how powerful they are. You mentioned a fitness one.
I see it like all the time. I see it in like paint. They're like patented paint.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, quick dry paint technology or stuff like that. You know? It's like in everything. Even in this light, they had some like chrome plated palladium or something like that patented by this company or something. It's just little things. And what's funny is a lot of the companies have it. Okay, let's think about this. Like they even did it on that show Mad Men, right? And this was like a huge example. And I remember hearing this in Mad Men and it blew my mind. But have you ever watched that show?
Briefly.
They talk about Lucky Strike. They're trying to come up with an ad for Lucky Strike. And then they were talking about the process of making the cigarettes. And then they're like, okay, we toast it, blah, blah, blah. And then Don Draper was like, wait, say that again? You do what? We toast it. Everybody toasts it. And then Don says, you know, yes, but they're not advertising it.
Yeah, so toasting
Lucky
sounds
Strikes
nice. Yeah.
were toasted.
Wow.
And then that was like their unique mechanism. Everybody else is just selling cigarettes, but these are toasted cigarettes.
Dude, I love it. Yeah.
So it's just like, it's really everywhere. And most successful businesses are doing it with their offers.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about intermittent fasting. That's another like idea, like another unique mechanism. It got popular in the last few years. Yeah. You know that like a caloric deficit is like, you know, how you lose weight, but like you can't just tell people like, well, yeah, get on a caloric deficit. It's going to be great. Eat less, you know. But if you go, no, it's not just eating less. This is intermittent fasting. It's like, what does that mean? Well, it just means you don't eat breakfast. it means, yeah, but they put the spin on it because it's not just eating less. It's intermittent fasting, you know.
Exactly. Man.
It's at a specific time that you have to eat, you know. Yeah. So that's a unique mechanism for that diet. And like people, I mean, literally when you hear it, it's like, oh, you just don't eat breakfast, you know, like pretty much.
But that's not how they do it. They say, oh, that makes so much sense.
Exactly,
and that's why I haven't been losing weight. I wasn't doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah, that's
Takes
the
blame off. It's something new, and they can try it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, anyway, these unique mechanisms are everywhere. And if you have trouble selling a commoditized product or whatever, figure out what your unique mechanism is, and then like put a name on it. And include that in your pitch.
Yeah, and that is like a vital part of the offer. People are coming out here with offers. They're like, buy my course. But they're not making it unique. They're not talking about the outcome. And the next point is an offer should be emotionally compelling. Now, what is
Dude, the drums were great.
The drums, man. Okay. People who are watching like that or just listening to the audio are gonna be like, what the fuck just happened? Did he have a stroke?
Yeah.
On the video, guys, I played the drums. But the third point is it should be emotionally compelling. Now, this is something I learned not too long ago, like within the past year or so from
I don't know how to do this.
A mentor of mine, which is Todd Brown, which is essentially that it should, I mean, I guess a simple way is it should lead to some sort of emotion. Okay. It should lead towards maybe being scared, anger, excitement. And you'll see this. So like the scared one, for instance, is people, this is in the investing niche a lot. So when you're in investing, they're typically selling to conservatives. And what they're doing is they're always saying, the government is fucking you. Here's how to not let them fuck you. And they scare them. They're like, look, they're about to devalue gold, blah, 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 this, or and now you can invest in this and it'll save you. It's your hedge against inflation. Yeah. Or, I mean, that's another way of putting it. Like, inflation is on the way. All your savings are going to be totally ruined. The stock market's going to go bust.
Oh, that'll make people emotional.
One stock that we found with our DPI AI stock method, and that's
their
like
unique mechanism.
Unique mechanism on top of that. So they're scaring them into buying something. Their fear, hey, everything you've worked so hard for your entire life is about to be lost unless you invest in this. And then what we did with HCOM was kind of like the same thing, and it. I feel weird like saying we're scaring people into buy our product, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You got to do what works, man. And you should never be afraid to do something like that as long as your product delivers the outcome that we talked about in step one, right? Because if you have a good product that gets people results, you should do everything you can to get people inside of it, right?
So that's such an important point. Is like, yo, if you want to make 7 figures, make a 7-figure product, 8-figure product, if you're scared about selling it, then you have to get over that. And one of the key things you mentioned it, but I really want to drive it home because I think maybe a lot of people get stuck on being scared to sell their products. You know, someone had some quote sometime in the past I read somewhere that's like, if you have a product that will truly help someone, it's your moral obligation to get it out there and try to get them to buy it.
You're doing them a disservice if you do not sell it to them.
Yeah. Now,
so you're telling me you have something that can make someone's life better and you're not giving them a chance to use it? You're an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, this could be considered a little mental gymnastics to make it okay to shove products down people's throats a little bit. But I will say from my own personal experience, I once bought a course, and I had never bought a course before. And the sales pitch was hard. There was a hard sales pitch at the end. There was like a time limit. There was like all that kind of stuff. And I didn't know if I should buy it because I just hadn't bought a course before. But I was like, this might be valuable for me. And because they hard pitched it, I closed. You know, I bought the course. And that course really got me into marketing and then taught me the basics. And then that changed the Hoth. And then, you know, we affected thousands of people. And then I did masterminds for other people. And now like 50 people have a job and there's thousands of freelancers that work in the ecosystem. So the fact that somebody pushed a course a little bit harder on me, you know, and they used these tactics to do it, changed my life. It made me a lot of money and made a lot of people around me a lot of money. It changed the lives.
Jobs, it gave people security, and it changed your clients' lives too.
Yeah, and that's because the course was actually very valuable, and it really could. So in that case, I would, like, without that person, you know, using these types of tactics and like having no fear, no shame, and really promoting their products, that ripple effect never would have happened. You know what I mean? So sorry, this is kind of off track, but
I mean, people need to understand.
Yeah,
like, if you have a good product, do what you must do to sell it.
Yeah.
And if you have a shitty product, you're an asshole.
You work on your product.
All right. But yeah, so the emotionally compelling, right?
Yeah.
What we did was we just talked about, you know, time is running out. What other options do you have? And then we just kind of cement it with logic. So we say, okay, here's the options. You can go get a law degree, right? It's going to cost you $73,000. It's going to take 6 or 8 years of your life, and then you're going to have all this debt to pay off. And lawyers, when they come out of college, are making like $80K a year. Well, here's Michael, who just joined our course and is already making $20K a month within 3 months in, right?
Yeah.
So we're scaring them saying, okay, you're going to have to spend all this time doing it if you want to be a lawyer, right? If you try the different route, the logical route, the normal route that everybody else is talking about, they're saying you have to do it, right? You're grown up, you got to go be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer, you got to go to college, you got to do all this. We say, hey, that's going to cost you a bunch of money, and you're going to come out. It's going to take 4 years minimum before you can get a job and start making money. And then for the next few years, you have to start paying off that debt. It's going to suck.
Yeah,
well,
they're putting this mental picture in their head. They're getting emotional about that. They're saying like, oh, that sounds like horrible. Exactly. And it's also positioning you're ready for the pitch because this is going to be way easier than that.
Yeah, and then we talk about, okay, or here's Michael. Look, he joined the course. He didn't spend $70,000. No, he didn't spend 8 years of his life. Nope, he spent $2,000 and he spent 2 months, and now he's making $20,000 a month, which, by the way, is more than lawyers make coming out of college after they spent that money and after they spent all that time. And that's just the beginning. Now he's doing $40K a month, blah, blah, blah. So we're kind of like using the fear of the normal path, what everyone's pressured to do, and then we give them the alternative. So it's kind of like a back and forth on emotion, right? It's not just one. We're getting them with both, tugging them around.
I like that, man. Like, kind of what comes to my mind when you're talking about this is the us versus them kind of, mentality. Like to get you in. If you can create an enemy, you know what I mean? I think this is an emotional trigger that you're trying to hit is like, yo, the enemy is the system out there.
That is exactly what we did.
There is a system out there that they want you to go to college and they want you to spend all this money. And that is a path that sucks, and they're trying to scam you out of your money, or maybe you didn't say that, but
I feel like we might have even said that.
Okay. But the idea is that there is a common enemy, and you're saying, like whatever fears and you're confirming whatever anybody thought about that path. That path sucks. I never wanted to do that path. I always wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want to pay all that money to those robbing people, to those institutions that they wanted me to force me to go through the same thing that everyone else has done.
And then when you get a job, you just working for someone else, lining their pockets instead of your own.
Oh, man.
And then we just used like basically
so it's emotion. Yeah,
everything you just said, we did all of that by telling Matt's story. Like Matt did what they told him to do. They said what he was supposed to do. They said this was what life was supposed to be like. He went to college. He got out of college. He couldn't even get a job because it was 2009 in the middle of the market crash. So he had to spend months trying to find a job. He finally did, working for a sweaty man named Dougal who was always eating cookies in the office, really painting like that picture, And then Matt worked for him for years only to have his pay cut and the pay go to Dougal, the boss, instead. It's just that whole thing. And the whole thing was basically about how colleges have abandoned their post. If you do what you're supposed to do, the traditional path, it's just not going to work. Other people are doing this right now, and it's making them money. What's the outcome, right? We're constantly reinforcing the outcome, which is a 5-figure a month or 6-figure a year business. Yeah. They're doing this. They don't have to spend a whole fucking bunch of time doing it. They don't have to spend a ton of money doing it either. They're getting started within weeks or months, and they're seeing a return on that outcome or getting to that outcome.
Yeah. So if you want to, if you're listening to this and you want to think about how you can create that emotion, maybe think about that. Think about what is the enemy of
your target audience.
Yeah, your target audience. What is the thing that you're the opposite of? And that could be, the traditional path that they could have taken. Mm-hmm. It could be an institution. It could be, like, for instance, it could be competitors and the way the competitors are saying to do things potentially. Like, have you tried this service or have tried other people's services? And, the other service, what most people do is like this, and you've tried it and it's a horrible experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just painting this picture of like the horrible experience that they have and this common enemy, and then painting yourself in that different light.
And then use logic and data to like really solidify your point. Yeah. So, like I mentioned, we were throwing out.
We're still talking about emotions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we were throwing out real stats. Like if you tried to do this a different way, like if you went to college, if you wanted to be a lawyer, like everyone said, here are some stats. Like the cheapest college costs this much. Okay. And it's going to take this amount of time. Now look, here's someone who bought our course. They didn't go to college. They didn't spend the time. You're just using facts, data. So
you hit him with the emotion, and then boom, hit him with the
to really cement it there and be like, okay, so it is true, you know?
So is there a quote there? I think there's something like, you know, people buy emotionally and justify rationally, something like that?
Yes. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
But idea being that you can snipe them in with the emotion, but then you hit them off with the rational part so they can justify that emotion.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next point here, because we've been on this one for a while, too.
Yeah.
We're going deep into all
We're going deep. Getting rowdy.
So the fourth point here.
How many do we have in total?
5.
Okay, so almost done. Almost there, baby.
Almost done, guys.
You guys almost have crazy offers coming out of you.
Look, anybody who's watching this and doesn't like it, oh my God, I guess you don't like making 8 figures then, because this is exactly how we build 8-figure offers.
Yes.
The next point, though, is risk reversal. And a good quote that we have about this one is, it should be more painful for your prospects not to buy than it is to keep their money.
So how do you do that?
Dude, you just have to give them. It's easy. You just reverse risk. And there's a couple of different ways to do it.
Okay.
And we use them all in conjunction. So number one is we need to figure out what any objections are, because people are going to have fears, doubts, or reasons why this won't work for them, right? So for instance, with our course, people are like, well, I don't know how to make Facebook ads. Easy. We have a free software that we're going to give you that will make the Facebook ads for you. Boom, risk reversal. And then before they even have the chance to ask that question, we're like, what if I don't know how to make Facebook ads? That's when we hit them with the software, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll have, or I don't know how to target on Facebook. Oh, that's simple. We've got the MCBW framework. It's plug and play. You literally just switch out. So we're targeting this magazine. You just switch out with a different magazine. Okay, well, I don't know what to say in my ads. Oh, that's fine. We've got the CIC ad method: connect, incentivize, call to action. Again, you just remove certain words and you replace them. Yeah. So anytime someone has any kind of objection, like when you're coming up, and this is why it's so important to come up with your offer before you build your course or your product, by the way, because if you really think through what people's objections are, you're going to be able to build the perfect product that nobody can say no to. Because then what's going to happen is they're going to have all these fears or reasons they can't do it. And then you're going to say, before they even ask, before they can even bring them up, you're going to be like, okay, so you may be thinking, I don't know how to do this. That's fine. It's covered. You may be thinking you need to hire a designer. Nope, we got that covered too. You may be thinking you need to do this, this, and that. Nope, we got that covered. And then what's going to happen is you're going to make that offer or the chance to buy, right? You're going to be like, okay, you can buy now. And they're going to rack their brain and they're going to think of every reason why they shouldn't buy. They're going to be like, well, I don't know how to make ads, but he said that I'm going to get the software that's going to do it for me. I don't know how to hire a designer, but they also give me a software that does that. I don't know how to design a website, but they're giving me my theme for free. And then what's left is there's no reason that they're going to have this internal dialogue in their head. There's not going to be any reason for them not to buy. They're going to be like, wow, everything's covered. And what do? They buy. And then the final piece of the puzzle is literally just a refund guarantee. Every offer should have a refund guarantee. If you have a product you believe in, if you have a good product, you have a refund guarantee. You say, just come in, try it today. If it doesn't work, dude, get your money back, okay?
Yeah.
It's that simple. And then it is literally more painful for them to keep their money than it is to buy. Yeah. Because if they buy, they get this amazing opportunity to build the 6-figure business with this outcome, right? We go back to the outcome using your unique solution. It's emotionally compelling. They're
really getting fired up about this.
They're really excited about it, right? And now you've got a guarantee. So if it doesn't work, they get their money back and they have no risks because you removed all the roadblocks as well. So they can either A, try it out and maybe make a bunch of money, right? Or B, they just keep going down that path they're going on and nothing changes. But if they try it out and it doesn't work, they can just get their money back. So why would they not try it out? It doesn't make any sense because nothing changes if nothing changes. If they're not going to try it out, they just continue on that path. And that's like where we get the emotionally compelling again. You kind of anchor it like, look, you can keep going down this path you're on now. You can keep doing what you're doing. Nothing's going to change. You're still going to be working for someone 10 years from now. And really, what's the risk here, right? You spend a month of your time. If it doesn't work, you get your money back and you're back where you are anyways. You would have been there if you didn't try anyways. You might as well do this. And look, because John did it, he's doing this. Tony did it, he's doing this. Shannon did it, she's making this kinds of money. I mean, there's nothing for you to lose here. And then we talk about, we like kind of anchor it with roulette. We're like, look, man, If you told me that I could go to a roulette table and I was guaranteed to either win or get my money back, I would spin that bitch every single time because there's zero risk. No matter what, I'm coming out on top. If I win, I get a bunch of money. If I don't, I get my money back. What kind of logical person would say no to that bet? And you need to really lay that out for them and make them understand that no logical person, no smart business person would turn it down. And you can do it another way. You can say, look, if you were a serious investor and you found a stock that was guaranteed to go up in price, and if it didn't go in price, you'd get all your investment back anyways. Nobody would say no to that investment. It makes absolutely zero sense. So why wouldn't you take this offer up, try it out for 30 days, and look, if it doesn't work, you just get your money back. No hard feelings. And that is risk reversal, and it makes it irresistible because it's literally more painful to hold on to the money than it is to buy what you're offering.
Damn, dude, that was like a mic drop moment, but yeah, woo! All right, but hey, I have a question actually. So on that risk reversal, you were talking about all the objections that people have, right? Because they see these objections as risks, right? They see like, oh, here's all the things that are not fulfilled.
They're essentially saying
I'm not sure to buy it. I'm not sure if I can buy it because there's some leftover elements.
Yeah.
How did you guys actually figure out what those things were? Is it just you just try to sell it and then you get the questions and then you add those back to the offer, or how do you find out those things that people are concerned about?
That's part of it, right? Is you learn a lot along the way of selling.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you touched on earlier, just talking to people.
Yeah.
Hey, so what's holding you back? That's typically what you ask them. Like, you go to people who are trying to do whatever it is that your outcome is, right? So our outcome, build a 6-figure-a-month business. I go find people who are trying to do that, and I just say, so why haven't you succeeded yet? And they're like, man, I think my store design just sucks, right? Or
we got to give them a store design.
Yeah, so then boom, we started including our Providence theme free of charge, optimized for conversions, right?
Yeah.
Man, Facebook ads just don't work for me. Or this one was a lot. My Facebook ad account is banned. So what do we do? Okay, here's a Google AdWords training too. Here's how we make $1.8 million a year on AdWords. So if you're banned from Facebook ads, or you just hate Facebook, we'll show you how our set and forget method for making $1.8 million.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what products to sell. All right, we'll hand deliver you proven to sell products. We've spent months testing this out, finding products that are proven to sell. We'll just give them to you.
Yeah.
Something like that. You just go out, you figure out what's holding people back, like in your case, right?
Yeah.
It was essentially you already had the offer, right? And then you talk to people and they're like, well, I don't know because this. And then you pivoted the offer. You made it irresistible by saying, okay, yeah, we'll eliminate that. We'll just do it for you, right? It's just like that. The easiest way is to get out there and talk to people. And then there's a lot
I think people need to hear that over and over and over.
Talk to people. I know, we're just going to say that in every episode.
Your customers. I make this mistake all the time, but every time that I go and I just talk to people, talk to my customers, talk to potential customers, it becomes so clear, what I should be saying, what we should be doing, what the holes are, because you can get so in the weeds in your business. I mean, you're growing your business, you got to do a million different things. But you got to talk to your customers. And when you do that, all these things that you want to know, they will tell you, it'll be crystal clear. So let's reiterate that every single episode. It's like, go talk to your customers. So I don't even do it enough, but every time I do, it's great.
And another thing to do, because a lot of people may not have customers yet. This might be their first offer.
True.
You can try to contact people, or you can really something that we do is we go to Amazon. And you can't do this for everything, right? But there's a lot of books on how to start an e-commerce business on Amazon. And then we'll say, like, what wasn't covered or something like that, right? And you look at the reviews.
Read the reviews,
and people will say, well, I didn't like it because this, and that. And then
go to the 3, 2, 1-star reviews.
Yeah, that's something for me. You go to Reddit and you go to Facebook groups. And then you literally, people do this all the time. You just ask the question, like, hey, what's your biggest roadblock when it comes to success with X, Y, or Z, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, why aren't you ripped yet? Or, hey, why can't you complete 75 hard? Or, hey, why is your store suck? Hey, why are your rankings not improving? What's your biggest issue with SEO?
And actually, it's super important to understand what people think their issue is versus what the real solution is.
Yeah, because you got to tell people what they want, not what they need.
Exactly. I mean, it's like you need to understand what people think is their problem, and you can bait them with that and then give them what they really need. It's like our thumbnail, man. You know, we had this 75 hard episode that is
Abs
great.
out.
It's all about like mindset and stuff, but we knew no one cares about that. What we did is we snipe them with the motherfucking abs screenshot. You know, everybody wants that. Everybody wants to go from fat to fit. You know, they want that. So we snipe them with that screenshot, and then we hit them off with a boom with what they really need with that mindset motivation, you know?
And that's such a good point, actually. It's not even in my list, but when coming up with an offer, another reason it's so important to come up with the offer before you build the product is because a lot of people build products for what people need.
Yeah.
And that is...
And then you find out it's really fucking hard to sell that shit.
Because nobody wants it. Like, dude, you could come out with the most complex workout program ever, and it's guaranteed
it could work amazingly.
But then people are like, yeah, I just want 4-minute abs, you know?
Yeah.
And you're going to make some sales because some people are willing to do that still. But if you want scale, like if you want that 8-figure offer, you need to sell the people what they want, not what they need. Okay. Yeah. You sell them on what they want, and then you deliver what they need. Yeah. Like for our course, we don't talk about mindset at all in the pitch because people hear mindset and their eyes glaze over. They're like, no, thank you. Right? We just talk about everything else. And then when they get in, it's like 6 hours of mindset training that you have to complete before you can move on because you need it.
Yeah.
And then that's like,
snipe them
we
with
say
what they
like,
want.
hey guys, you know, like we might not have talked about this, but you need this mindset section. You're going to enjoy it. Yeah. And it's going to set you up to build your 7-figure business or your 6-figure business, right?
And they usually do enjoy it. It's just,
that's
not what's going to get them that's not the offer in the beginning, you know what I mean?
We're not talking about it because people don't, you know, it's not sexy. It's not emotionally compelling, right? And therefore, we don't talk about it, but we give it to them.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll move on to the last one here. And
sorry, I thought that was already done.
No, we got
number
one more.
5.
One more, number 5.
You got to recap this after we're done, too,
we'll
by
recap.
the way.
And it's a reason to act now, right?
Ooh,
because
this is so powerful.
If you present an offer and you don't give people a reason to act now, they'll just put it off. They'll be like, I'll take a look at it tomorrow, or I think I'll be ready for this like next month,
No,
2 months from now. No, you need to
have a deadline.
There's a lot of different ways to do this too. You could work with X amount of people at a time, like, hey, and this is something that I've seen done a lot in the SEO world, especially with managed SEO services. Alex Becker did it back when he was selling his managed SEO service, and it crushed, man. They would just open up a limited amount of spots every month, and it's like, hey, if you don't get in now, there's no guarantee you'll ever get in, right?
Maybe I need to do this. It's good.
With us, it's
because like when I think about this, I just think about having a deadline, you know, but that is a great point, man. Like you could have a limited number of spots and it should be true and honest, but I mean, it is true for us. Dude, when we have too many campaigns, we have to hire more people and it takes time to train them and all that kind of stuff. Costs money. So we actually can only sell a certain amount per month, but we don't promote that. So maybe we should cap it, and that will really incentivize people to get on.
Dude, when we do the same thing with for our like mass market offers for like our courses, it's always time-based, right? Yeah. And, we're running evergreen campaigns. So we're always running the campaigns, but we still need to give people a limited amount of time to join. So there's this great software we use. It's called Deadline Funnel, and it basically matches up the timer to the unique person. So if they visit that page, that one person can only see that page for the next 3 days. And after that, the timer's up. They're redirected to like the offer's over page.
Hang on, I got to write it down. It's called Deadline Funnel.
Deadline Funnel,
I'm going to start using this.
I'll send it to you later.
All right.
And that way you're not lying, right? Because obviously if it's an evergreen campaign, your ads are always going to be running. You can't just have, hey, this ends in 3 days. You need something unique to the person. So with our mass market offers, like our course, we just say, look, we're only accepting... we say this offer's only good for 3 days. If you don't join now, you're not going to be able to join. And that's it. Literally, we're kind of like pushing them over the edge. But you also say, here's the thing. Get it to try it for 30 days risk-free. If you don't like it, you get your money back.
Risk reversal, baby.
Yeah. So look, even though you have to join now, it's okay because if you don't like it, you can get a refund later. And we've already handled all the hurdles that you have. And all that. And then for our like non-mass market things where we are doing like our one-on-one coaching and stuff, we literally just only accept a few people a month because it's so demanding on our time. We have to go in there and help these people, get on calls with them. And we have to focus on our other businesses, like our actual stores, our software side of the business and all that stuff too. So we can only accept like 10 clients every month. So, I mean, that's a reason to act now. We're like, look, there's only 2 spots left. John is interested. So if you don't take it, he's going to. Dude, I don't know when we're going to open this back up, man. So you better join now. Let's work together. Let's get you those results. Right. And then you go into your risk reversal. You go through all the logical steps, you know, the outcome, the unique mechanism, why they need to work with you, the emotionally compelling, risk reversal, and then a reason to act now. Right.
Yeah.
And then the reason to act now just ties all the rest together and it pushes them right over the edge. And then you make $10 million like we did.
Yeah. It's amazing. That's amazing. Dude, I think for most people, it can't be understated how powerful just having a deadline is. And it can literally, it can literally be as simple as like, if you're going to run a promotion or something, like putting a deadline, be like, you have to buy by the end of the month. That's it. And like, if you just put that deadline on there, it'll be crazy. Or if you're launching a new product and you go, hey, we're going to launch it at this initial price, but on Friday, Friday the 17th, the price is going up to the normal. This is a launch special. It's going to go up. But you got to get in before that date. What's going to happen? A lot of people buy today, tomorrow, whatever. But when it gets that 17th day or whatever, it's the last day.
Everyone's buying.
50% of your sales are going to come in, maybe more, just because people are lazy and they wait till the last minute. But that scarcity, that fear of like missing out, just by having that deadline there, even if it's arbitrary, like why would it be this date? Well, you just got to pick a date and just tell people they got to buy by that date, and people will buy by that date.
Yeah, and then you can also frame it in a way that you help them justify that they're saving themselves from pain by buying now. So what we do is like, look, we talk about the tools that handle their objections, right? So like they need a software that'll make Facebook ads for them because they don't want to make software. So the way we do that is like, look, man, you're going to need this eventually, right? If you want to be profitable, if you want to have a store that runs 6 figures, you're going to need a tool like this eventually. So why wait 6 months to get it? You know, waste all that time in between and then end up paying triple the price for a tool that you can get now for 1/3 the price, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, why would I pay more? Why would I wait? I could just get it now. I do need it eventually. I mean, it's going to save me from all this pain and hassle.
But I got to buy it.
Even if I'm not
get in right now
it for like the next month, since I am going to use it a month from now, I might as well just buy it now and save myself the money. So that's huge. I forgot about that because it's been a while since we've done the price increase things, but that's another way. Anything you can do to give people a reason to act now. And there's other ways to do it too. I see it done in the, going back to like the investing niche. People will set a date. They're like, look, we've got our TPI stock indicator says that this stock is going to jump into the stratospheric levels on November 17th, 2022. Get in before then so you can capitalize on it as well, blah, 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 something like that, right? So they're not saying like, hey, the offer's over, this, and that. They're saying, no, here's what it's going to happen on this day. And if you're not in before then, you won't be able to take advantage of it, right? Yeah. So that is like really powerful. There's a bunch of ways to do it, but you need to give people a reason to act now. Or like workout, like, hey, summer's coming up, man.
Oh, yeah, paint that picture.
Those abs by summer, blah, 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 something like that, right? So it's huge. Let's recap for everybody.
Yeah.
So first of all, we went through Clayton's section, which is basically...
Yeah, just to recap, it's like if you're going to create an offer, like really talk to your customers and understand what their pain points are, and that will help determine, what the actual offer becomes. And that's like the core of it. So if your thing isn't selling, go and ask them and see like, talk to your customers, figure out what the missing piece is. And sometimes that can be the thing that is the beginning part of the offer. That's the big mechanism. But then in terms of like promotion and, actually forming the sales for it.
But on what you said too, and that becomes a huge part of the risk reversal.
Which
is one of our, golden 5 Pentagon trifecta of irresistible 8-figure offers. But we've got the outcome. Yeah. So how will their life be different after they use your offer, your service or whatever? What's going to change in their life? We've got the unique take or mechanism, like what makes your offer different from everybody else's, and why they should buy yours instead of the others. Emotionally compelling, helping them see the outcome, right, and get motivated to start taking action on it.
See if you can use us versus them or a common enemy that you can throw shade at.
Yeah, and then get them on your team and stuff like that. And that gives you guys a feeling of, what's it called, like camaraderie as well. Risk reversal, so
Huge.
making it more painful to not buy than it is to buy. Literally, they should feel like that cash is burning them. Like, ow, it hurts to hold on to this money.
Take away
it would
all
feel
their
so much better if I just bought this product, right?
Take away all their excuses.
Yep, take away all their excuses, give
them a
any
guarantee.
time they could have an objection. What are you doing? You fucking object their objection, reverse their objection before they even have the chance to voice it.
Take away the risk.
And then you give them a guarantee to make it an absolute no-brainer. No logical person would pass on this offer. And then the final one is just giving them a reason to buy now. You got everything else tied together. Now you got to get them through the door, because if you don't give them a reason to buy now, they will find a way to put it off, okay? You need them to take out their card or do whatever. Yeah. Like, dude, imagine if you had a salesperson, right, who hung up the phone before they paid. They're just like, well, all right, you said you're going to buy, and they just hang up on them. No, you wait till they buy now. You give them a reason to buy now. You always make sure they buy right now, because if you don't, you're just going to put it off. And that, to me, that's what creates an irresistible 7-figure or, in our case here, an 8-figure offer. It's not just the product. It's everything like that we just went over that goes into it. And then you take all the stuff we mentioned today, and then you use that to build the product, and then the people will come.
Yeah, man, dude, I love it. This stuff is so powerful. But I did want to say that, before I was a marketer, or, like the first time doing this kind of stuff, I really did feel kind of weird doing it. You know what I mean? Like the first time you're
tactics.
You're really going to like try to sell something. It was really not my style, to be honest. I don't like, whenever I saw pushy salespeople, I didn't like that. And the idea here is that if you're hearing this for the first time, you haven't really marketed stuff before, you haven't really gone and like hardcore marketed products or been on a webinar, and it's like, it's not actually, the idea isn't to be salesy. No. The idea is to get them to change their mind. The idea is to get them over their fears, the objections, and get them excited about the offer. So a lot of times, the excitement is actually a huge part of how people can actually get success. So if you're like me, I don't know if people, hopefully people identify with this if they're just starting, but creating this offer for the first time might feel weird. But as you go through this and you see the power of using some of these things, you will be hooked, and it'll be amazing for your business. It'll be amazing for your customers, because your customers will get excited about using your products, and you'll think of new and creative ways to convince people, to explain cool concepts to people with your unique mechanism. Like, this is so powerful. So if you ever felt weird doing this, don't worry. Just get into it. You're going to love it. And this is going to, understanding this and putting it into your marketing is going to be literally the thing that takes you from like selling a couple products to selling like a shitload of products.
And if you feel weird about doing it, or you feel uncomfortable, I hate to say it, but that might just mean your product sucks and you're not confident in it.
That could be it too.
So you got to build a product that you're proud of. And if you're proud of, you're never going to feel weird selling it, because you're going to want people to experience what it is that you've created and what you've worked so hard on, because you know that it will have a huge impact on them in whatever, industry vertical you're in, right? It's going to just be life-changing for them, hopefully. Yeah. So,
okay,
bro, I guess that's it. What do we do? Let's do the Rowdy Boy fist bump. Let's go. We are the what?
Rowdy Boys!
And guys, if you haven't yet liked, commented, subscribed, rang the bell.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Don't forget.
We need more comments.
I
wake up every day and check the comments, and I respond to thousands and thousands of them that are coming in.
Yeah, we are the most popular, biggest podcast in the known universe on marketing anyways. I think when it comes to the general podcast, it's just like Joe Rogan ahead of us, and that's all. Maybe like Ben Shapiro, I don't know. But we're the biggest marketing podcast on the planet.
The number one marketing podcast on the planet.
We need to talk to you guys. Yeah. So if you're on YouTube, comment, subscribe, and
actually do it. I'm not just like the thing that people go through and say, oh, like, comment, subscribe, and then you don't do it. Do it right now. Just go down there and leave me a comment. Say what's up. Say
what's up.
Say what you're working on. Say the tip that you think you're going to put in to your next marketing campaign, or put in anything that you want. Questions, things for new episodes. But actually give us a comment, because it's actually, pretty soon this will be a crazy big podcast. But for right now, we're responding to every single comment that comes in. So boom.
So yeah, YouTube guys, like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you ring the bell, that means you will get notified every time we upload a new video. If you guys are on Apple Podcasts, make sure you subscribe and leave a 5-star review. We do have a perfect 5-star review on Apple Podcasts right now. That is huge. That is a Rowdy Boys.
Yes,
Oh yeah, let's go.
Thank you to the.
And if you're on Spotify, just subscribe. Guys, move over to Apple Podcasts so you can leave us a 5-star review. But if you're on Spotify, just subscribe. This is the Rowdy Boys. Clayton, give us your best Rowdy Boys. It's so good.
This is the Rowdy Boys.
One more fist bump for good measure. We got to get in
right.
there. Boom. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll see you on the next episode.